The little princess helps the crying fairy. Chapter 1. The Sound of Tiny Tears. One sunny morning in the Crystal Palace, Princess Lila woke up to the soft chirping of rainbow birds outside her window. She stretched her arms, rubbed her sleepy eyes, and smiled. Today was supposed to be a happy day, the day she was going to plant her first magic sunflower in the royal garden. But just as she was about to get dressed, she heard something unusual. Sniff, sniff, sob, sob. It wasn't coming from inside her room, nor from the hallway. The sound was faint and fluttery, like a tiny bell crying.
Who could be crying so early in the morning?
Princess Lila whispered. She tiptoed to her balcony and looked down into the royal garden. Beneath the sparkling dew-covered flowers, she saw a flicker of light. A small, glowing figure curled up behind a tulip. Lila gasped softly.
A fairy?
Without thinking twice, she put on her pink cloak and hurried down the spiral stairs to the garden. Chapter 2. The Crying Fairy. When she reached the tulip bed, the little fairy was still sobbing quietly. Her gossamer wings drooped like wet petals, and her tiny hands were covering her face.
Excuse me, are you okay, little fairy?
Lila said gently, kneeling beside her. The fairy peeked up, her eyes as shiny as raindrops.
Oh, hello, Princess. I'm sorry to bother you, but I lost my sparkle.
You sparkle?
Lila asked, tilting her head.
Do you mean the glitter that makes you shine?
The fairy nodded sadly.
Yes. Every fairy in Sparklewood has her own glow. Mine was the color of dawn, peachy pink with golden shimmers. But now it's gone. Without it, I can't fly properly or cast fairy light.
Lila's heart softened.
That sounds awful. But don't worry. Maybe we can find it together.
The fairy blinked, surprised.
You'd help me?
Of course. A princess should always help someone in need, especially a fairy,
said Lila. The fairy smiled for the first time, though only a tiny smile.
My name is Poppy,
she said shyly.
And I'm Princess Lila. Let's find your sparkle, Poppy,
said Lila. Chapter 3. The Trail of Lost Light. Poppy fluttered her weak wings.
The last time I remember glowing was when I was flying over the dewdrop pond early this morning. Maybe I dropped it there.
So the two set off together, Lila walking gently through the garden paths and Poppy riding on her shoulder. The morning sun glowed warmly and the air smelled like honey and roses. When they reached Dewdrop Pond, tiny frogs croaked greetings and dragonflies zipped by like rainbow ribbons.
Hello, Mr. Frog. Have you seen anything shiny or sparkly fall into the pond this morning?
Said Lila. The frog blinked slowly.
Ribbit, I saw a shimmer fall from the sky at dawn. It landed on the water but then floated away toward the Whispering Woods.
The Whispering Woods? Oh no! That place is full of windy secrets and tricky echoes.
Poppy squeaked. Lila smiled bravely.
Then that's where we'll go.
Chapter 4. Into the Whispering Woods. The Whispering Woods were cool and mysterious. The trees murmured softly, as if they were talking to each other. Every time the wind blew, they whispered things like, "Who's there?" and "Follow the light." Poppy clutched Lila's shoulder nervously.
Do you think they're friendly?
I think so. The trees just like to talk,
said Lila. They followed the sunlight peeking through the leaves, and soon they saw something shimmering in the distance, a soft pink glow.
Look! My sparkle!
Cried Poppy. They ran toward it, but when they got close, the glow darted away like a firefly. Then another shimmer appeared, and another until there were dozens of them, dancing through the air like tiny stars.
Oh, dear. I can't tell which one is mine.
Sighed Poppy. Lila thought for a moment. Then she said,
Maybe your sparkle will remember you if you sing to it.
Sing?
Poppy asked.
Yes, sing your fairy song, the one that comes from your heart.
So Poppy closed her eyes and began to sing a soft, tinkling tune that sounded like morning dew falling on petals. The forest grew quiet. The whispers hushed. And then one light drifted slowly toward her. It glowed peachy pink with golden shimmers.
My sparkle!
Cried Poppy. Chapter 5. The Storm of Shadows. Just as Poppy reached out to touch her sparkle, a sudden gust of cold wind rushed through the woods. The sky darkened, and a swirl of grey mist formed above them.
Oh no, a shadow storm,
Said Lila. From the mist came shadowy shapes, dark butterflies that fed on light. They began fluttering toward Poppy's sparkle, trying to swallow it up.
Stay behind me.
Lila shouted. She remembered the lessons from her royal tutor. Every heart holds a light of its own. She held her hands together, closed her eyes, and thought of all the happy things in her life, her friends, her parents, the blooming garden, and Poppy's brave little smile. Her heart began to glow, and a warm golden light burst from her hands. The shadows shrieked and scattered, disappearing into the mist. The woods brightened again, and the air smelled of rain and honey. Poppy's sparkle floated gently into her hands and sank back into her chest. Her wings shimmered brilliantly once more.
You did it, Princess Lila! You saved me!
She said joyfully. Lila giggled.
No, we did it together.
Chapter 6. The Gift of Friendship. When they returned to the palace garden, Poppy twirled in the air, leaving trails of pink gold sparkles everywhere. The roses seemed to bloom brighter as she passed.
I wish I could thank you with something special,
Said Poppy.
You already did. You reminded me that a little kindness can make even the darkest woods shine,
Said Lila with a smile. Poppy's eyes sparkled.
Then let me give you one more gift.
She fluttered to Lila's hair and tapped it with her wand. A soft pink flower bloomed behind Lila's ear.
This is a fairy blossom. Whenever you wear it, you'll be able to hear the whispers of nature and the laughter of fairies,
Said Poppy. Lila touched the flower gently.
Thank you, Poppy. I'll treasure it forever.
Poppy hugged her cheek and said,
and I'll never forget the princess who helped a crying fairy.
Then, with a twinkle and a giggle, she flew up into the sky, leaving a trail of golden sparkles behind. Chapter 7. A New Beginning. That evening, as the stars twinkled above the crystal palace, Princess Lila sat by her window, gazing at the fairy blossom in her hair. A soft whisper drifted through the breeze.
Good night, my friend.
Lila smiled.
Good night, Poppy.
She cuddled into a bed, feeling warm and happy. She had learned that helping others didn't just make them shine, it made her heart glow too. And as she drifted off to sleep, tiny sparkles of peachy pink light danced across her dreams. Moral of the story: kindness has magic. When you help someone in need, your heart shines brighter than any fairy sparkle.